Showtime.
Hi there. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And I'm James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James.
And tonight I'm going to talk about don't expect anything because we're usually wrong and what to do instead. And this is going to be a lot of fun. I hope.
I think it
I
will.
hope we're all going to laugh at ourselves. I certainly am laughing. But before we get into the show, Sweet Baby James is going to tell you a little bit about us.
Yes, you have come to Granny Rocks, where every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, we have the opportunity to experience Granny Beth's wit, wisdom, and her very uncommon sense. And now, without further ado, here's Granny.
Well, first of all, welcome to our audience. James, you need to.
I got it. I've got
you
it.
got it. You got it. Yes. So, welcome to those of you who are watching, whether we know you're watching or not. Please feel free to comment as we go along, and then we can always, I can always address your comments. So, all right. So, what I'm saying is, don't expect anything. Well, how could you not expect? Well, I'm going to tell you how you cannot expect anything, because we're usually wrong, and what to do instead. So, why? Let's just start with the very obvious. If you look for a negative outcome, you might miss the good. I mean, how many of us are already predisposed to thinking negatively about something? Oh my God, you should see the loser that my daughter's coming home with.
We've had a couple of hellos, one from Amy. Hi, guys, with lots of love.
Oh, hi there,
And
Amy.
Tracy, hello from Arizona with love and caring.
Okay, thank you.
And Elizabeth says hello with love.
Hello, Elizabeth. So, we're expecting something bad, so we're looking at the thing in a very skewed way. In fact, because we're human and we want to be right about everything, we have to now prove that whatever it is bad. Like, oh, that bum really was a crummy husband for my daughter, even though he saved her from suicide or anything else. You know what I'm saying? But
Amy says, what a great topic.
well, thank
Yeah,
you,
Amy.
thank you, Amy. So, yeah, we almost have to make it bad in order to prove that it's bad, and then we build a case, and then it's
Yeah,
just
we want to prove that we're right.
oh,
See, I was right.
exactly. On the other hand, if you're looking for a positive outcome, you might be disappointed if what happens doesn't match your idea of the good outcome. Even if it is a good outcome, but it's not what I expected. So we're back to, well, wait a minute, it's not looking like what I thought it was going to look like. How come that's no good?
I'd like to interject, if I may.
Yeah.
I once joined a single dating group called Great Expectations.
Yes.
And none of my expectations was met, except one. And then this one person turned out to be a flash in the pan anyway. So they were all dashed. But
What?
when I met you, I was looking for a spiritual mate. And my expectations were exceeded.
Ooh, not that that made you happy.
Well, it made me happy.
To a degree.
To a very high degree.
You thought, right, you thought that
I
having
fell in love with you.
Right, that's true. But you thought a spiritual mate was, I mean, this is a perfect example. Oh, I know what a spiritual mate is going to look like.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
I had a picture of what it would be like.
Right, exactly.
And I thought that I would be the dominant one in the relationship.
Or we go off meditating into the sky together,
Oh,
and that
yeah,
was going to
yeah.
be what the spiritual mate was going to be like. See, that's a very good example.
Mhm.
And if you're looking for a positive outcome, you might not see the real positive that's there if it doesn't look like your picture.
Oh, yeah.
Or you might get angry if the situation doesn't match your picture, and then you get resentful. And I shouldn't say we all do. Okay, now let me give you some examples, and we are going to get to why we're usually wrong, although we're already beginning to flop into that territory and what to do instead. For some people, the coronavirus has been an opportunity for greater closeness with family if they are at home or their kids are at home. And I know people who have really thrived, even though they had a lot of fear. Oh, this is going to ruin my life. And oh my God, what am I going to do without this? And how am I going to manage that? Right? So it turned out to be a real surprise. So nothing really was like what we expected. Or sometimes people's work or the products that they make have been in more demand because of the coronavirus, and they're making money hand over fist. I find it unbelievable, but it's happening to some people, right? A lot of wealthy people are getting wealthier. Um, Unfortunately, it also works the other way. Let's say you think something's going to be great, but it actually sucks. Now, let's go back to the coronavirus example. Say, oh, we're all going to be together as a family. The kids are going to be home. My maid and I are going to be together more. And then it turns out that it's terrible because you have less closeness with the people you're with because you resent them so much or because you want to get away from them. Or you're stuck with people that you really don't like. So you see, or you might go broke or somewhere in between. Or your income may go down, like which has happened to us, but that other adjustments are taking place to try to help us out.
We have another welcome from Jose. He says, "Hi, Mama and Papa. God bless you so much."
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jose. Gracias. Gracias, Jose. So, benedicciones, right? So, um, another thing about expectations, it's really hard to know what good might come from the bad. And I was just giving some examples, or vice versa, what bad might come from the good. And we can't really prejudge anyway. A lot of times, like that story. What did they call that Chinese proverb? Good news, bad news, or something. Oh, you broke your leg, and then but then you couldn't get drafted, or it saved your life. And so one thing after another, you really don't know until the end, and even then, nothing ever ends. So it just goes on and on and on. So you just don't know, you know. So the question is, why are we usually wrong? I said we're usually wrong. So who is going to argue with me on my own show? So we're usually wrong because life is complicated. Even a machine can have so many moving parts. You try to
Oh, yes,
do
we have
one
another
thing.
one, by the way. Karen says, "Good to see you both. Much love."
Oh, and much love to you, Karen. Any hearts? Green hearts. I like the green. Always green. So, you try to fix this, but then when you fix that, it puts a strain on that, and it puts a strain on that, or, before you know it, the whole thing is broken, and you just try to fix one part. And my God, is that ever true with relationships? You try to interfere in a relationship with somebody, your friends, and you tell them, oh, you really should leave that guy, he's being abusive. You're listening to her or you're listening to him, and you're getting this whole story. And then in the end, they come back and they blame you for interfering, and they say he really wasn't so bad, and why did you believe me? And life is just like one. See, everything impacts everything, and yet we have a very finite idea of how things are going to be. So, the coronavirus, again, is a perfect example of why we can't predict. I don't know. You listen to the news and you hear these opinions, and it's like one opinion after another based on people's, best guess or good evidence or whatever it is. So all these experts disagree. So you wonder about that, right? If they're all, so then what can you do? Or they all agree and they're all wrong, like Donald Trump was elected anyway in 2016. So even though he lost the popular vote. So it's complicated. Life is complicated. People are moving parts. They have their own motivations. People don't always behave the way we think they're going to. Even in science, you can't predict everything. If you could predict everything, there would be no experiments, would there?
No.
You wouldn't need a hypothesis or a theory in an experiment. You would just know because you know, right? So even more so with people. So, what's this game we're playing to ourselves? You know, here it is. I'm going to give you some examples. Last week we were expecting a delivery, an important delivery, and we expected it around 5. And the reason is that's the time that this company tended to deliver. But it came at 1:30. Right? Remember?
Yeah, it did,
we were
yeah.
totally we were not prepared because it was like, oh no, he's not coming until 5 o'clock. He's here. So this week, oh, they're not going to fool us, right? We expected another important delivery between 12 and 4, and we had a very good reason to expect it between 12 and 4 because we got this window from the freight company that said this is going to arrive between 12 and 4. Well, of course, it didn't arrive between 12 and 4. It came at 5.
Yep.
Isn't that true?
That's right.
I mean, something as simple as that.
And we even tracked the truck,
That's
the
right.
delivery truck, online. We could see where on the map it was. You saw that it was right at the intersection of our place. And we thought, oh, it's practically in our hands.
That's right.
And then he disappeared somewhere else.
That's right.
And then
Because
he came back.
unbeknownst to us, he had to be somewhere else at 4:30.
By 4:30.
And
That's right.
so he had to run, and he left us like, oh my God, where did he go? Where did he go? I mean, this is such a simple example, but that will show you how many moving parts there are. Plus, you never know, the truck is going to break down. So, and I'm always indignant when a delivery does not come on the day that it's supposed to. I don't care that there's been a hurricane, right? Okay, now other examples. I am sure these are very familiar. When I married him, I thought it would be so great. Well, it turned out that he was just human, or he was really like my dad, and it wasn't so great after all, and now I have to try to figure out whether I really love him, or I just loved the illusion that I had, or the image I had, or the expectation that I had. Or we could take it the other way. When she was elected, I thought the sky would fall. Well, maybe it did, but then maybe it didn't. Or maybe it fell and then she was kicked out of office. Or she did something good that I didn't expect. Oh no, that's no good. And I can't possibly say, oh yeah, what that she did was a good thing, because I've been walking around saying, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Are you getting tired of this expectations? So here's the bottom line here. Instead of living life on its own terms, I am comparing what happens with what I am expecting to happen.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't we do this a lot? So
yeah.
That alone would be a really good reason to stop expecting anything. And when I'm comparing what happens with what I'm expecting to happen, I am so often disappointed. And so I can't see what is happening because I'm stuck in the pain and the disappointment of what didn't happen. This happens to me a lot. Oh, I was so optimistic about this election because I thought certain things were happening and then they didn't happen and I got really upset, and anyway, right? On the other hand, sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. But as I say, I may not want to let go of my opinion. So, guys.
So what can we do about it?
What can we do? Indeed. How do we live without expectations? Well, I'll tell you what I think. First of all, we have to recognize the fact that living without expectations is a good thing. That we have to look at why we have so many expectations and see if we can release the need for those expectations. Like, it's just kind of some kind of illusion that I have any control over the universe whatsoever. I mean, how do I know after I've paid off the mortgage, right? Which will never happen to us. Never. Anybody out there wealthy wants to help out a nice old couple. We are always open because we never have enough money for anything. And
But
anyway,
somehow we manage.
we manage. As long as we don't live too long, we should be okay. And as long as I can still talk and think, and James can still laugh and smile and, pick things up and help me out, right? So, if I can let go of the idea that I should know, that it puts me in the know. You see, like those people on TV who are giving their opinions. I wonder if you should refresh
I'll do
just
a
in
refresh.
case there are some comments that are not coming through. Some people are paid big bucks to get on TV and babble and say things where they really don't know what they're talking about. And so they have a lot of pressure on them to actually come up with something because people are going to remember. But then they'll always come up with some kind of excuse. So some people feel obligated to say what they're seeing because that's their job. They're pundits, as they call them. They're experts in their field. Oh, the coronavirus is going to go on till 2 years from now. Oh, the coronavirus is going to end next week. Oh, the coronavirus vaccine is going to be available in January. Oh, the coronavirus vaccine isn't going to work. Oh, the coronavirus vaccine is going to work. Blah, blah, blah. Oh no, it's going to mutate. It's going to, and these people are supposed to be experts. How humiliating it is to get up there and babble and say this stuff that you just don't know. Now, some people try to hedge their bets wisely, and they say, well, maybe this might happen. And I said, oh, okay. Well, this reminds me of a doctor's appointment that I had when I was very young. I was about 19, 20, and I had become chronically ill and disabled by that time. And I went to a doctor, and he was very kind because I didn't have any money. And I was, struggling to just put food on the table because I could barely move my arms or legs or anything. I was really sick. And he took a lot of tests that nobody had done before. And he said to me, and I quote you, and he was a specialist, I want you to know, an expert. You will either get better, get worse, or remain the same. You know how honest.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks.
That's why he gets it. How honest was that? He was saying that knowing what they didn't know about what was wrong with me, they could not predict what was going to happen. And see, that can sometimes be a good thing because we could be looking at some, oh my God, I'm going to be dead in 2 years, and then you're not. Some, medication comes along, or some supplement comes along, or some miracle comes along, or some sweet baby James comes along, and and there you are, and you're not dead, and you're just wondering, how did that happen? What is that? So, or on the other hand, and I almost named the show this, but I didn't. Don't expect the worst, because it could be even worse than that. You know what I mean? You didn't realize that when you got the coronavirus, you were going to end up with chronic fatigue syndrome. And see, that is an interesting outcome for coronavirus. They're discovering a link between people who have long-term effect from the coronavirus and people with chronic fatigue, which I have. And they're hoping that they're going to learn something, probably long after I'm dead. Are they going to learn anything? I have a lot of illnesses. That's just one of them. So, things could be so much worse. You're you're thinking that you're just paid off the house, and guess what happens? Or you're afraid that you can't pay the mortgage, and guess what happens? An asteroid hits your house, and it's so much worse than you expected. Or you're in California, and wildfires everywhere. We get that here in Oregon. Oh my God, it's all over the West. Floods in the East, fires in the West, global warming. I gotta say, they said it was going to be bad, but it isn't bad. It's worse. It's worse. It's much worse, because they could not predict all the things that were going to happen around global warming. And I'm so disgusted with the people who pretended that it didn't happen, or that human beings didn't have anything to do with it. But, what can you do? So, anyway, what I am recommending, because I guess you're waiting for the recommendation at the end of the show, the silver lining, right, is that you just have an attitude of, I don't know. It would be nice if this happened, or I think it would be nice, or I hope that it would be nice. Maybe, I've had a dream all my life that I was going to get married and have a baby. A lot of young girls have had that dream, especially in my day. And it turned out not to be what you wanted. You really didn't want a child. It's like, oh God, is that what it is? It's an earache. It's it's a lack of sleep or something. Or I kept a child that I didn't want, and it turned out to be wonderful. It was the very thing that I needed. I mean, this has happened to us, that we know someone that we thought, the sky was going to fall when she got pregnant, but actually it only half fell, and in the end she's doing better. So we just don't know anything. So why don't we take an attitude of, let's see, this will be interesting. Take an interest in life. Take an interest in being surprised. Take an interest in learning. Take a breath. So think about something that you may be either dreading. You think, oh my God, this is going to be so terrible. This is going to be so terrible. This is going to be so terrible. Or that you think, oh, this is going to be so great. Or something in between. And just take a breath. And see if you can calm yourself. Calm yourself. I'm going to be late to that job interview. And then when you get there, you discover the boss had an accident, is in the hospital. See? All that stress and upset about something that didn't happen. Now, for the boss, it's probably a lot worse. Unless meeting you would have been a disaster. But so, do you see what I'm saying? Just take a breath. Allow for the fact that you don't know anything. Don't be embarrassed. Just say, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And be surprised. Live in the excitement of the not knowing, and the not pretending that you know. So I think that we're coming to the end of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are.
What do you think?
I agree with you. It trips me up when I have expectations and then disappointments. So I like it. I like the idea of having the curiosity about what might happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I wonder what's going to happen.
Right. It's going to save you a lot of indigestion, a lot of disappointment, and open you up to seeing what is and what is evolving. I see we have a comment.
Oh, we have a comment. Karen says, I like that. I don't know. Let's see.
Great. Great, great, great. Keep an open mind. Always keep an open mind. It's really not as hard as it sounds. If you focus on that, instead of catastrophizing or glorifying or exaggerating, whatever, life is an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to remind you, tomorrow night, God willing, and my arms are moving, I am going to play the piano for you, Dreams of Peace. I hope I'm going to be able to play the piano for you tomorrow
You're
night.
scheduled to play the piano.
I am scheduled to play the piano.
And when is that?
That is 7 p.m. Pacific time. And next week we come back at 6:30 Pacific time for Granny Rocks. And right now we're going to go on to Seeing Through New Glasses, which is a video conference that I lead. It's wonderful. We deepen our understanding, and I have some information about it in the post. So if you have any interest in really going deeper into any of these topics, it's not that expensive, and we would love to have you. You can join us at any time. Just contact me for how you can join. So is there anything you would like to add, Gene?
No, I think I've said what I wanted to say. Do you have something in your mind that you think would be apropos?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a surprise.
See, he didn't expect that. Neither did
I didn't expect that.
Okay. We love you. We thank you. Please share this program. Everybody needs to hear this program, right? Please like it. Please love it. Please comment. As soon as I can, I will get back to you. I always answer comments, no matter when they are. A week later, I'll go in there and answer your comments. Blessings to you.
Yes.
Blessings to the relaxation that comes when we let go of the expectations, which are so off, and lead us to sadness.
Enjoy the process of living, moment by moment.
Relax to the process of living, as we say in Living with Reality, a book that you can read for free on my website. You can download it for free on my website, Living with Reality. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.